They come after the release of this report by Josh Shapiro, the Attorney General in Pennsylvania, last week, which said more than 300 priests were implicated in abusing more than 1,000 children over 7 decades, and he put some more flesh on the bones of that and yesterday, and talked about what the Vatican knew, and apparently that was quite extensive. He said it put institutional self-interest ahead of the interests of the victims. He was careful not to accuse Pope Francis himself of having knowledge of this, but clearly it was an attempt to raise the alarm and say that there had been a very large institutional cover-up by the Vatican Church regarding these cases in Pennsylvania, perhaps signaling that it may have been aware of cases around the rest of the United States and indeed the world.
But David, considering the Pennsylvania report was released a couple of weeks ago now, why is Josh Shapiro giving interviews about this now?
I think we're seeing a critical mass here being reached. It also came just a few days after Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, who's a former Vatican ambassador to Washington, wrote a 7,000-word letter, and he did directly accuse Pope Francis of failing to act. That was with regard to the cardinal in Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, Pope Francis has just been in Ireland and having to apologize to victims of sexual abuse cases there. So, as we see in other walks of life, I think this is a pattern that is reaching ahead, and the Attorney General realizes this is the moment, perhaps, for a moment of reckoning for the Vatican Church. And even though these alleged crimes have happened over many years, many decades, it appears to have fallen to Pope Francis to really have to deal with this, and it's a very big test of his character and his ability to do this job.